Okay, so welcome back to Betide Studio. In this video, we are going to make a get and update stats system for EOS. So EOS basically has a system where you can get the stats and update them and have a leaderboard for them. Although we are not going to cover the leaderboards in this video, but we are going to make the stat system so that you can create a stat, get the stats and update their value. As you can check the preview itself. Now, the only prerequisite for this video basically is the login and register video which we made with using EOS. Now, because the user should be logged in to update and get the stats. Now, if you have already made that logic, then that video is also not necessary, although we copy a few logics from that video. And before starting, just wanted to request you all to hit that button if this series helps you even a little bit. And yeah, let's move on. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to back to the screen. And yeah, I was about to record the intro again, but no worries. Let's just get started. So let's put this in and now create a new function for update stats and getting the stats. So these are the two main things which we are going to do in the video. In this video, I think you will be knowing that. So let's create a U function here. Somewhere we yeah. So we can just copy this thing and sorry, and let's make it uh, update stats, and we will take in a few parameters like how we want to update the stats. So we will just get an f string. This will be stat name, so we will get what stat we are going to update. Then we will get an int32. This would be the amount that we change the stat with, like -10 +10, whatever you want to, and that just totally depends upon you. And we also need an f stat update type. Did I type it wrong? Stat update type. So I think we need a input parameter for that. Oh, sorry, we need an include for that. So let's go up and go includes and add an include for include interfaces and then stat online stats interface. So we will just include this and now come back and now type f stat update. Oh, sorry, this is not required. We will not use this. And basically we have another input. Now basically what I do is make a plugin and then get the codes and use for what I have already written, and I used enum, so it gives us f, like we need to take in an f online stat update, and then e online. Now this cannot be taken as an input parameter as far as I remember. This cannot be taken as an input parameter, but yeah, so you can see it says cannot find online to resolve this. So this cannot be taken as an input parameter. That's why I made a custom enum to get the values. So for now, let's just remove this. We don't need this. We will set it for directly from the website. So let's now go and let's do one more thing. Create one more function, and we will name this get stats. So this will be used to get the stats, and we will pass in the f string stat names, and we don't need to pass in the about. And we can use this as a t array so that we can get multiple stats at the same time. And we can just delete this. We cannot set multiple stats at the same time, but we can get and get the stats name and just save all. Let me just stop the EOS tutorial running. Yeah, and now get and create these functions. Generate definition, and don't worry for these, I was just playing with it. just due to some errors and things like that. I was just playing with it, and I don't know if that's included in the last video or not, but the last video which you have seen, it's complete. It's just for that plugin purpose of the plugin. So just not to distract you, I will go down. And now let's create a few more one more function, sorry, two more functions, which will return whether the value was successful or whether it failed. So we can make two new functions, and we can make it there here, and on update stats complete. And we just need to pass one thing as this, so we will just pass f online error result. And we also need to do exactly the same, I think, for the get stats. No, for the get stats we will be getting all the stats, so we need to make a few more things. So let's make on get stats complete, we will make const f online error result state, and then we will pass in yeah, so we will just pass in const t array, and then we will make a t shared reference, and then we will make const f online stat user stats, and we will just name this user stats. So this is what we need to pass in, and we can make something like whenever we can get the data from a delegate. So now we have two functions, so we will just use these to get the data. And now let's get back and update the data itself. So firstly we need to copy, as usual, we need to get this, we need the identity reference, so we will take it from login part. Where do we have the login thing? Yeah, here. And on login, when we get the identity reference, we will check if the identity reference is valid. Okay, so we need to check this if identity pointer reference is valid. Then we continue with the functions that we call I online stat pointer stats pointer reference is equal to subsystem reference, and then get stats interface. And now we make an we need to make f online stat user updated stats, and we can just name this stat variable, which will be equal to f online stats user updated stats, and we need to pass in the local user id, that is the unique player id. So we will get the identity pointer reference, and we will pass in get unique player id. Let me just check if we need to pass anything else or not. Yeah, we need to make it 0 and also make it to shared reference. So that is it, we need to pass here, and then we can continue with getting the data of the local type. And after we have got the shared reference, now for setting the type of like largest, the smallest, we will set that directly on the website, so that's not an issue. We will not be setting it here. So let's go and make stats pointer reference pointer reference dot stat. Sorry, we need to do this in the stat variable. Yeah, this one, and dot stats and dot add. So now you can pass in whatever type of stat you want and what type you want to increase it by. So we will pass in the stat name which we got, that is the stat name. Then we need to pass in the f online update, f online stat update, make a bracket and just pass in the amount. So amount is this, and then pass in the type which you want to add. So it says modification type, so we can pass in f online stat update, e online modification type, and we can pass in largest, set, smallest, sum. So I will pass in sum. So basically sum means that the older value and the new value which you pass. That means, for instance, you had a number of kills 12 and you pass this amount to be 1. So you passed in update stats for kills and you have an amount to 1. So it will make it, if the initial amount was 12 and it will add 1, make it 13. So now you have an updated count of 13 kills. And this way the game moves on. Now in some cases you want the highest number of kills to be loaded, so for that you will use largest. Here it will, like, if you have an old value 10 and you pass in the new amount as 11, it will set the value of that variable on the EOS to 11, like the old value will get overridden. And then you have set to set this value exact to it, and smallest is with which value is the smallest, like the smallest response time or something like that, whatever you can think of. So yeah, that is it. So I will for now add and then just press this. Now after we have added, we will make, you may have added no, looks like I did something wrong. Now we will make a T array and we will pass f online stat user updated stats, and then we will just pass the stat variable, stat, or we can just name this stat array, and then we will add the we will get this stat array and we will add multiple stats to it, stat variable, and done. So now we added the f online stat updated stats to this array. Now we will pass this array back to our old friend EOS. So it's stats interface, it's stats pointer reference, and then we pass in update stats, we pass in the identity pointer reference, and we get unique player ID which is of 0, and we make a dot and get the two shared reference. Then we pass in stats, sorry, I believe it's the stat array. Yeah, it's the stat array. And then we will pass in f online stat up user, yeah, update stats complete, update stats complete. Then we will make a create u object, and then we will pass this and just pass in the reference of the function, that is the EOS on game instance, EOS game instance on update stats complete, and it will call the update stats complete function, and now we have an updated function. So yeah, that works. Now I mean, we will test out that, but yeah, that works here. Now let's go and create a function for on update stats complete. And if the stats are complete, we will just get the result. So if result is equal to f online error success. we, Sorry, we will make a UE log temp warning, oh sorry, text, update stats success, and else we will print UE log, sometimes autocorrect, like let it be log temp error text update stats failed. So we just check whether the things work or not. And yeah, done here. Now let's work on the setting function. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay, we already did that there. So let's go down, 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 down. Yeah. And now we have a T array where we get this, we can get the stats. So we already made the function for the get stats. Yeah. So we can just copy this from here. And I forgot to do one thing. We did not verify whether the stats point reference is valid or not. So that's the most important thing, or else crashes can be happening everywhere. And after this, yeah, done. So now we have closed brackets and everything has been completed. Let's just work on the get stats function. And let me just get this out here. Yeah. And we also need stats point reference. So we will get this and close all the brackets so that it doesn't give us an error. And when the stats pointer reference is valid, we will get, yeah, we will get this. So we already have a user reference, right? So now we will just pass stats pointer reference and then get unique, sorry, query stats. Then we will get the identity pointer reference and then get unique player ID 0 dot to shared reference. Then we need to pass in a new thing, that is the F, where is it? F unique net ID reference for the stat user. So what we can do is we can, okay, so we already passed that. No, it's F online user stats user. So I believe that's the same thing, right? So let's just copy this and paste this here. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then we last need to pass in the query. No, but we need to pass in the stats name. Yeah, so we'll now need to pass in the stats name. And the last thing is, so you notice here. So the first thing is f unique net ID, and the second is t array f unique net ID if we want to pass in the stats name. So we need to make a t array of the f unique net ID stats name. So we can make that easily. So let's go here. Let's just make a local user and add ourselves locally. So t array t shared reference, and then make a const f unique net ID, and we just make it the user variable. And in the user variable we add and we will just get the identity pointer reference, get unique player ID 0 dot to shared reference, and this should work. But why is it giving us an error? Yeah, everything looks correct to me. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Like that error just got away itself. Maybe this is something I have typed the wrong spelling. So sorry for that. You can just verify that. But yeah, but now you can just copy this from, and from the stat users, we will now pass in the stat. What we made the users variable, so we will just pass users variable name. We pass in the stat name, and then we just pass in this thing, the delegate which we need to call. So we will just call f online stats query user, which one, star query user users. Both look exactly the same. Which one to call? Okay, let's call this, and I hope it's correct. And then we will from here we will call create a create u object. Then we will pass this, and then we will pass EOS game instance, uh, stat get on stat get stats complete, and we will now finish the brackets here and end. Now something is wrong. Okay, so the error got solved. Now you need to just verify whether on this dot h thing we have this correct. So you need to verify it from here, and we will generate definition, and we have two, so let's delete this and we get here. And if the result state is valid, I mean if the f online error is success, then we get. So let's go through a shortcut. Basically I tried a lot to get it through the for loop, but it couldn't. So I found on uh, forum how to do it. So we will just get the stats. So we have this is user. So let me just get stats variable. So we will go through all the users we have, and then set this to user stats result, and then we will go through make a stored value reference and make queried I think it's stats variable, and then we will get the stats from here. And from here what we need to do is we will make just we will just directly get the value. So we will just put ue log temp warning text. We need to add two values, log stat with name, sorry, is, and we can even set this to float, I believe, right? So we can just set this to float. And now here we need to pass in two parameters. Firstly is the string, and the second is the float. So we will make an f string key name, and we will get this stored value reference dot key, I believe it's value, yeah, So reference dot key, and then and this passes in the key name. And now we will make an we will make a float, and we will make it value, although this is an integer, but we need to pass in a float. That's why we are making it float. And then we will pass in the float value, that is the stored value reference dot, I believe it's value dot from yeah, get value, and we will just pass in the out data. So we can make it int32 value, and then select this and remove it, and we pass here the reference of this. So we will just pass in ref value, and now this value holds everything. So we will pass in firstly the string, that is the key name, and then we will pass in also the key name should have a star because we cannot directly put it, and the second should be the value, of course. So this sums up everything to be true. And we can also do one thing, we can directly pass in to dot s, and we can make uh, f string from int, and the int value is value. Although I think it will give an error, but let's hope it doesn't. And now let's try running, and yeah, everything has been completed. So as you can see, it gave an error, and it's exactly on that f string line where we print it. Yeah, it's here. So does it require a star here? And now let's try. And now here it comes. So let's go and open the widget which we have. And we will make again 2 copies of this. So this time this will go up. And again, now let's name this increase stat by 10. And I will make a copy of this again. Where is it? Nice. This should be here. And this should go up. And this should be minus 50. Oh, sorry, 50. And this should be get stats value. And this get update increase stats by 10. We will make an on-clicked event. Cast to the EOS game instance. And then just set we will find update stats function, and we need to pass in the stat name and the amount. So let me just open the Chrome quickly. Oh, I already have it open, but I again tried. No worries. So here is it. And now let's go to the game services, progression and stats. Ignore these board stats. I was just trying out. So yeah, now let's name this sample stat for okay, one more thing, you need to keep everything capital. Don't forget that everything should be capital or you will not be able to get it. So we can name this skill. So skill would tell us, like, skill is s skill, so it will tell us the number of skills, and aggregation type would be sum, and create. I have already explained what are these things. And now skill, we will just copy this and pass in the stat name as a skill, and amount would be 10. And on the get stats value, we will again cast and get the stats. Now the stats name would be make array. We just need to get the stats for, oops, only the skill, and done. So let's find out if it works finally. Yeah, nice. We just need a one player setup, and we need a standalone game so that we can have a log, of course. And we have the player here. So we will log in with EOS. Here comes the login part. Let me just log in. Okay, so I have to log in. Nice. So now we have this here. So continue tab, allow. And login is successful. Let's hope it comes up quickly. Please, please, please. Fast, 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 fast. Yeah. Login success and nice. So we will try to increase the stat by 10. Update stat success. So let's open up this and let's go to service metrics. And this value of total stats processed should be updated in a few seconds. Once it took like 10 minutes, but it gets updated very quickly every time. So this should get updated, and we have increased it by 10, so we should get the value to be 10. So if we get the stats value, nothing comes up, and that breaks my heart. So something doesn't look right, definitely not right. So let's go and check uh, what wrong we have done in our life. So let's go and let me just close this up. Although now you can check we have one total processed. So yeah, that now works. So it took like 1 minute to update. So we got the new total processed stats here, but we could not get the values back. So I believe there must be some reason. And let's just open, yeah. And here it looks right. And I just write was successful. And let's check the event here. Get stats. We pass in the stats name, and it's passing in the stats name like it. We have this users variable which is taking in this local user. We also have everything here, right? Do we need to pass in the user? No, not that. Else we will just print, and let's just copy this. Getting stats failed. Can we somehow get this result state as a string? Oh, we can get. So let's copy this and let's cut this. And failed with error S, and we just get this here. And of course make the star here. And now this should let us know what the error was. Save all, restart. Have I saved that? So let me just check. Yeah. And yeah, things look good here. Let me just close this. Maybe I was trying to get the values too quickly. And yes, it works. So basically, I believe is succeeded doesn't get called or something else got wrong, but I believe everything now works. Start with name skill is 10. So it's right. And because before this we updated it once, now we again update it one. So it says update start success. Now we try to get it. It says 20. So the value has now been updated on the EOS. And let me just update it very quickly. And yet, yes, it gets updated. Now I will get the value. And I believe that just got a lot. Yeah, it's getting 170 now. And let's try to look at the stats. And this is one. So let me just reload this. It takes about a minute to get updated on the platform itself. And Epic itself says that that platform should not be used as the final point of looking because it's a bit delayed here. So things can be much faster in real life. And I believe it doesn't tell anything, so it will take a few minutes and then give the info. Am I opening the right project? Now it says 0. Nice. Nice bug. Ah, this should get the value. And now we can easily see that yes, the value is right. So I believe that is it for this video, and press that subscribe button if this video helped. And thank you. Meet you in the next one. Bye. And if this value gets updated, I will show you, of course. And now you can see we updated this 16 times. And that's why 16 times adding 10 makes it 160, and then 1 here, so 170, and the value is exact. It works nice. So yeah, thank you and nice. Bye bye bye.